What makes a city a truly great place to live? Growth, opportunity, and a reputation for excellence. Waterloo, Ontario continuously ranks one of the best cities in Canada to live in. And for good reason. It's the fastest growing area within Canada. We have world-class institutions, a booming tech sector, and high-paying jobs, just to name a few. In this video today, we're going to be going over the 15 reasons why Waterloo, Ontario is such a great place to live. Number one here are the top educational institutions, and I actually think we're overserved in this area. For a population of only around 165,000 people, we have not one but two excellent universities to choose from. We have Wilfrid Laurier University, well known for its business school. They're currently having an expansion right now, which is going to total around $35 million. Another great university, which is even more well-renowned. There's so many great alumni that actually came from this school. Before I get to the school, I'll name you some. Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin Amorim, and the inventor of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, are some of the alumni that have graduated from this university, and that is the University of Waterloo, well known for its engineering and IT. Now, of course, with all of these great minds coming out of these fantastic universities, it goes hand in hand with the booming tech sector that we have here. Waterloo has the second highest density of startups in the world, only second to Silicon Valley. The Toronto Waterloo corridor has over 15,000 tech companies and over 5,200 startups. We have places like Google. The headquarters is downtown Kitchener, Ontario, Vidyard, OpenText, and the list goes on. Number three here is the relatively affordable real estate market. I know that in the past 5 to 10 years, real estate prices have absolutely skyrocketed across Canada, but I still think there's excellent value in the city of Waterloo, especially compared to other cities in the GTA. Let's look at some stats. In the month of November, the average detached house in the city of Waterloo, Ontario, sold for $937,000. In the Greater Toronto area, that figure was $1,452,000 and some change. Let's play a little bit of a game. I will show you two different properties that both sold in October of 2024, one in Waterloo, Ontario, and one in Mississauga, Ontario. Let's look at the first one here that's sold in Waterloo, Ontario. This one here is a detached double-car garage home with 2,200 square feet, above grade, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, fairly well renovated inside. Lock in your answers now. This one sold for $940,000. Now let's look at one that recently sold in Mississauga, again in the month of October. This one was a 3-story townhouse. So you're losing a lot of square footage here just for staircases. In fact, this one had 3 bedrooms above grade, 1 in the basement, and 4 bathrooms in total. It was a 3.5. This one had around 1,600 square feet. And of course, interior unit townhouse, so you're going to have neighbors on both sides and only a single car garage. This one sold for $928,000. So essentially what you're looking at here is the price that you can get for a 3-story older townhouse. You can get a fairly new, beautiful detached home here in the city of Waterloo. Now, it's just not the real estate that's great. It's the family-friendly neighborhoods that we have here within the city of Waterloo, Ontario. And I really don't have any problems with any neighborhoods within Waterloo, with the exception of 2. And that's going to be highlighted in this video coming up. If you want to watch that one right now, I go over the best and worst areas within the city of Waterloo and give you more details. But I think on the whole, let's take a place like Laurelwood, a popular destination, especially for some of my clients that have come from YouTube. They're picking places like Laurelwood, known for its great schools. They have the best schools, not only within Waterloo, Ontario, but within the Waterloo region. Now, if you want to buy a house here in Waterloo, Ontario, like many of my clients have, you can book a call with me in the first link in the description or call, text, or email. Now, I really like living in Kitchener, Waterloo. One of the reasons being is it's so easy to get around. There's no traffic, in fact, and I've got the stats to back it up. Waterloo, Ontario has the second lowest congestion level in all of Canada, only second to Kitchener. That's going to be 19% of the time you're going to encounter congestion, and that, of course, is going to be closer to rush hour traffic in the morning and in the late afternoons. There are some bottlenecks that you should be well aware of. I've highlighted them in a video that you can watch right here, which is what you need to know when making the move here to Waterloo, Ontario. Now, let's say you don't own a car. Well, that's not a problem. We have excellent public transit within the city of Waterloo, multiple bus routes that can get you around. But what truly sets us apart from a lot of other cities within Canada, in fact, is we have an LRT system, a light rail transit system. Locally, it's called the ION, and that runs from the northern Waterloo area, starting at Conestoga Mall, the largest mall within Waterloo, down through the south towards the Fairview Park Mall area. And it connects both uptown Waterloo and downtown Kitchener's cores. Absolutely fantastic. I think this was a great investment, and it's already been around for over 6 years. This was completed back in 2019, a lot sooner than a lot of other cities you might be considering making a move to, like Hamilton, Ontario. They are getting an LRT, but they're really a little bit further behind. London, Ontario, of course, they don't have an LRT either. So I really do think that Waterloo is really cutting edge. I think we are a little bit further ahead than a lot of other cities within Canada. Number 7 here is the access to nature. We have multiple great trails. I'll name a few for you. We have the Walter Bean Grand Trail, which is kind of on the eastern side of the city. That's going to be near Rim Park. That one kind of goes around the golf course as well as the Grand River area. So you have beautiful sights of a well-manicured golf course as well as the Grand River as well. You have Bechtel Park. You can certainly walk around there. Very quiet, very beautiful. That's going to be closer to University Ave and Bridgeport. And then, of course, you do have Waterloo Park, which is kind of the jewel of the city per se. They've had multiple investments in the past. The most recent one, they did a large landscaping job near the Waterloo Pond there. That's going to be a great area to just kind of spend an afternoon, walk around a little bit, enjoy the sights, enjoy the new landscaping architecture that has been in place, increasing the trails and just basically the general cleanliness of it is quite nice. Waterloo, Ontario has a great food scene, and that's going to be the 8th reason why that you should be considering a move to Waterloo. Multiple great restaurants. The list just goes on. My favorite all-you-can-eat sushi is going to be in Waterloo. That is going to be Jinzakaya. Great place. If you're looking for a more luxurious affair, we're talking about Bauer Kitchens. If you're looking for that Toronto lifestyle, a place where you can live, I think that area is great. You have multiple great buildings there. You have the Bauer Lofts. You have the Princess Towers right across the street from there. And then, of course, you have Vincenzo's at the bottom, which has a lot of European delicacies, a lot of unique food products that you won't find in your conventional grocery store at a Sobeys or a Zehrs or a No Frills. Another great option to check out if you're looking for a bit more of a higher end affair, that's going to be Wildcraft, and that's going to be located on Northfield Drive. Absolutely fantastic. I would try out their cheesecake for dessert. Now, a lot of these restaurants are located in Uptown Waterloo, which is my favorite downtown location compared to the other 3 downtowns which make up the Waterloo region. One of them is going to be the city of Cambridge's downtown. Absolutely gorgeous. Downtown Galt is great, but I don't think they have as many nice restaurants. It's a little bit more unsafe than Waterloo, Ontario. Kitchener probably placed that a close second to Waterloo, but it just doesn't have that same vibe that I get in Waterloo, Ontario, especially in the summertime. I really do think Uptown has a lot of great restaurants. It's completely safe, and there essentially isn't any homeless people per se that I have noticed compared to Kitchener or Cambridge. I'm not sure why that is, but that's just one thing to highlight. Number 10 here is the day trips and the location. So Waterloo is located just north of Kitchener. You're an hour and a half to Toronto, so you can still kind of go there for the day, enjoy yourself, and come back. If you're looking for a beach, you have one of the best beaches in Canada. That's going to be Grand Bend. That's going to be an hour and 20 minutes to the west. And then, of course, you have Stratford, well known for the Stratford Music Festival, which brings in thousands of people each year. Stratford is a beautiful, gorgeous town located just about 30 minutes from Waterloo. Then you have St. Jacobs as well. That's another 5-10 minute drive just north. Little boutique shops there. Definitely can spend a few hours in the afternoon on a Saturday or Sunday. You have Westmount Rose located in the northeast with a beautiful covered bridge there. One of the last surviving covered bridges within Canada. This bridge in particular has starred in a few different movies that have been filmed in that location. So it's a pretty well-known bridge, and it's also referred to as the Kissing Bridge. Now, another thing about living in Waterloo, Ontario is you don't necessarily have to go to Pearson International Airport to catch an international flight. We do have Waterloo Region International Airport, and that is located just outside of Waterloo, Ontario. I know I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but you can't really, it's hard to put an actual airport within the city limits of Waterloo. It's so densely populated. Now, some of the great destinations that you can fly to from Waterloo Airport, that's going to be Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, the Dominican Republic, and Florida. Fort Lauderdale in particular. And then, of course, you have Canadian destinations like Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax. Number 12 here is we have 4-season living. And living in Canada, we do have, in fact, somewhat distinctive seasons. We have construction and winter, essentially. But there are some seasonality within there, right? So if we look at spring, which we're going into shortly, a few more months of the snow and the freezing cold, this week has been very, very cold. In fact, one of the coldest weeks of the year. But let's say in spring in Waterloo, there's some great places to check out. That's going to be the St. Jacobs Farmers Market, which happens to be the largest farmers market in Canada. And that's going to be just located north, right on the border of Waterloo. And that's a great place to pick up your local groceries. You have a lot of local growers that are in there in terms of vegetables, and you can find meats. Now in the summertime, you want to head up to maybe Waterloo Park, enjoy the beautiful trails as well as the perimeter trail, which runs right around the perimeter of the Waterloo Pond there. Also, you want to check out Laurel Creek Conservation Area, which is going to be kind of located in the northwestern part of the city. There you can do kayaking, canoeing. They do have a small swimming area, as well as you can do some camping overnight. And that's on the northwestern side in the Laurelwood area. A popular thing to do in the fall time is go pumpkin picking, and you certainly can do that in Waterloo. That is the Hurley's Country Farm Market. And then the winter in Waterloo, one place I definitely go skating at, and that's going to be the Waterloo Public Square rink, located right in uptown Waterloo, and that's completely free. Another place to check out is Waterloo Park. In the wintertime, they do have the Wonders of Winter in Waterloo Park, and that's going to be over 100,000 lights on display. Now, Waterloo has a very rich cultural scene, and I've spoken to a lot of people that are moving from the GTA. Is there, multicultural here? What kind of events are going on? Yes, there are lots of events going on. One of them is the Jazz Music Festival, celebrating jazz music, and that happens every July, and that's completely free. My favorite, though, in Waterloo, Ontario, is going to be the Buskers Carnival, and that happens every single August in uptown Waterloo. They shut down the streets. They have magicians, they have acrobats, and they have musicians, in fact, that are playing completely for free. Another one is the Open Ears Festival of Music and Sound, and that's going to happen every May. It's an immersive festival blending music, sound art, and innovative installations at venues throughout the city. Now, number 14 here is Waterloo, Ontario is very diverse. It's very culturally inclusive. There are a lot of festivals going on, one of them being the Culture Run Music Festival, which celebrates diversity with international music, dance, and food from places all over the world. And of course, in addition to this, you have multiple multicultural festivals, especially held within their clubs. And then of course, last but certainly not least, That's going to be Oktoberfest, and that celebrates Germanic heritage. And the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest is the largest Oktoberfest held outside of Germany. And now, one thing is the safety in Waterloo. And rest assured, Waterloo is very, very safe. Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge had the lowest homicide rate in Canada in the year of 2021. There was 3 murders that year, 0.74 per 100,000 people, and it consistently ranks very low in terms of homicides, as well as property theft and theft in general. That's going to rank fairly low as well. If you enjoyed this video, you might like this video coming up next.